Hi, everyone. I'm Busirah Ahmed. I'm a data engineer, and I currently work for Yellow Card Nigeria. How many of us are quite familiar with on-chain data, or we've heard something like that before? Look like most people are quite new to this. So I'll try to, to go as basic as possible. Uh, so the title is Building Agentic Apps in Snowflake for On-Chain Analytics. And we'll be using Solana data as our use case. So Solana is a network on the blockchain. Uh, so have you ever, been promised money, or you were told, oh, I sent the money, but you never received the money? I'm guessing some of us have experienced that. Yeah. And, you've checked your bank, you just couldn't find, a way to prove that the person didn't send the money or the person actually sent money. So that's something on-chain data would do for you. So it's more like a public repository where you could see any activity that has happened on the blockchain. And when you check on the blockchain, you can, based on if you have the person, so all you needed to do was just to say, oh, can you share your account number with me, the person that sent you money, and you just go check and you validate yourself that, oh, this person actually sent me money or not. I mean, I think that's quite cool. Um, and it just encourages transparency, right? When I say I've done something, you as a user or you as a product owner, you could go there to validate that I've actually done that thing, right? And some of the key points just include financial gaming, social systems are increased on chain. People are building more stuff, games, financial services. Just mention it. People are building like different tools on chain. Uh, it's it's out there. There's transparency, which is very important. Then there's it's a very complex layer because the data are stored in a graph format. So obviously it's a complex layer, which still needs some understanding. Then lastly, when they say on-chain data, it's not just crypto. So take your mind off crypto and just think of activities happening, basically. It's not just crypto. So the next part, why does it matter that we're able to analyze its data, we're able to interpret it, we're able to make sense out of this data? One, transparency, like the example I've given to us just now, where somebody said they've sent you money or they've sent you something, and you're able to validate it yourself, even without confirming from the other person. Once you have an ID, maybe the person's wallet address, or they've shared their transaction ID with you, you're able to validate that. Then for accountability sake, I told you I'll be sending a 1,000 USDT. You can, we are both aligned, right? You can check yourself that I've actually sent that 1,000 USDT, and I can also say, oh, that's the amount I sent. So for transparent accountability sake, market intelligence, there's so much to understand in terms of market trend, what's currently happening in the markets. So you can use that. Operational decisions. So for companies or for big traders like big companies, they want to understand, what are people buying right now? What are the derivatives with the highest volume? They can, do all of that there. So this is just a screenshot I took from Solana page. And this is an example of how most networks interpret, or they give the user the data to the user. It's raw, one. It's complex. You can't make sense out of this when you see this. I mean, it's just a bunch of jargons. So you need to make sense out of it. So I mean, back to the topic, I said building agentic apps. So why not dashboards? So why are we building agentic apps on blockchain data. So I just highlighted a couple of limitations of dashboards. So dashboards are just too static. They are not dynamic. And this data, we all say um, the data has a lot of information within it, right? And if you just have a dashboard, then you are limited to the scope of that dashboard. So you need to build, if you build an agentic app on top of blockchain data, then there's no limit to what you can do with that data. So there's more power in, building agentic layer on top of that data. Then it answers even questions out of your dashboards. Whereas if you have a dashboard, you can only answer questions within the scope of the dashboard. Uh, Real-time data, you can literally see things as they are happening in milliseconds. You're actually able to trace things. Analysts also spend a lot of time trying to, understand the trend, doing a lot of analysis. That time is well spent. So this is just an example I've shared here. This is an app I built recently, right? And the whole idea is just to build something that I for me, when I want to check my wallet balance, I always have to go, connect my wallet, then check. And I thought, oh, why not have a bot where I can just say, what's my wallet balance now? And, I get some analysis. Um, so this is a very hands-on session. So I don't know if anyone here is here with their laptop. Please signify so I can um, take you through. Okay, I'm the only one here with my laptop. Okay, can you put it on? So in this session, we'll be building an agent that could provide you any response on USDT Solana data. So I'm sharing on the screen a guide. So kindly follow the link and create a Snowflake account. So you have to put in your details. And please don't forget to pick Google Cloud Platform. But once we are done creating the account, kindly just wave so that I can. So I've already created my account. So once you create your account, you will receive a confirmation email. And please, like I said, don't forget to pick Google Cloud. So you also pick the same region. You are creating a standard account. Sorry, are we on the same page? Okay. So you receive an email. And you just need to follow the link sent in the email. So you should have this screen once you are logged in. So you go to signup.snowflake.com. You enter your first last name and other details. Then you pick the cloud platform. We are using Google Cloud Platform. This is a very important step, please. And they are also picking US Central One. Are you in? Oh, okay. Okay. Just to save time, I think I'll just go on. So we are supposed to come to data sharing. So I already shared data with this account. So if you come to data sharing, so normally I'm supposed to get your account ID and share the data with you, the data we'll be working with. So the data is coming from this account and it is named DevFest Code Lab. So what do I have in the data? So the data has some historical data, 3 months data of Solana USDT activities. So every USDT activity on Solana network was captured. Okay. So I have two schemas here. I have the raw that contains the raw data, and the data was it was gotten from the marketplace. Let me take a step backward. So if you come here and search for Flipside, so they have a couple of free data that you could play with just to get familiar. They have BTC, Ethereum data. They have literally for most networks. Okay, while waiting for that, I'll just take you through what the data schema look like. So there's a database called DevFest Code Lab on my screen. So this is a database, and we have the schemas. So there's a raw schema and there's a USDT schema. So the raw schema just contains the data in its raw format. Uh, so if we just do a quick query on this table, um, so the connection is still okay. Yes, so the flip side data is as loaded. So you would see they have, a lot of data, and they also have free data that you could access. So it's uh, okay. Just to save some time, I will jump to the next part. But this is the raw data, and the model data is in the USDT schema. So the model data, the idea is I've taken my time to understand, what does this data look like? And if I'm to answer certain questions, right, I want to understand what are the platforms that people are using to interact with this particular token USDT. I want to understand what are the different activities that people are performing. I want to understand, are people swapping? Are people also making transfers? I want to understand those different transaction types. So if you look at this data, this is, one of the raw data. Um, and this does not make sense now. Um, and all this data could be find, you could find them on the blockchain. So the next part will be for us to create our agents. So to create our agent, we'll be using a feature called Cortex Analyst. So it already handles your orchestration, your planning, everything you need to do. So all you need to do is to define a semantic layer, which is like a description of your data. You're telling it, oh, this is my table, these are the columns in the table, sharing the definition of those columns. Also, if you have multiple tables, you could, show the relationship. How does this, a table A, how does it relate to table B? Okay, so I will show you example of what my semantic model look like. Yeah, so this is a sample of what the semantic model look like. And what I've done here is to define how my data structure is. So I just named it USDT Solana semantic model. The description, semantic model for analyzing USDT transfer, wallets, label, transaction, decoded events, and programs on Solana. So we have a table called fact USDT transfer. So the table contains every transfer event that has happened on USDT. So then the database, it is stored in DFS Code Labs database in schema USDT. So it's like you are trying to describe to the bots what do you what do you have in your database and where can you find this data. So just see it like that. Then your dimensions. So your dimensions is just trying to tell the bot, oh, my uh, these are points that you need to look at when you are running queries. So, and example is, the blockchain ID, the block ID, and I just, give certain samples so that when it sees similar IDs, it can interpret it and say, this is block ID. Event index, my columns, is mega wheels transfer, is wheels transfer. So, and I've also added a description that shows, that further explains, what is mega wheel transfer mean. So that's for transfers that are larger than $500,000. For is will, that's for $50,000, greater than $50,000. So the recipient, and you would see, I've also defined a time dimension to let it know that, oh, when you see the block timestamp, then that is the time when the event happened. So I also have some metrics here. Primary key. So this particular file has multiple tables. So this is another table, wallet USD, dim wallet USDT. So it contains the wallet level USDT flow. So if I have your wallet address and I want to know, information about your wallet, I can ask informations about it. So there are also, a couple of other tables there. Then there's a relationship. Yeah. So relationship, it could be one-to-one, it could be, one-to-many, it could be many-to-many. It depends on how you have defined your model or what does your data look like? How are you thinking about your data model? So this is the most important part of, building any AI or any agent within this system, where you are defining what are the available data and what are the metrics, what are the relationships, what are the available columns, and you're also adding descriptions to, those metrics. So these are just a bunch of relationships. So you could say there's a transfer sent to wallet, and that is joining my fact USDT transfer and dim wallet USDT. So it's a large file. Then the last part is verified queries. So you could write also a bunch of queries where you're saying you've assumed users would ask certain questions when they come to your platform. First, it depends on who your target audience are. So if you are targeting, individuals, obviously they want to know about their own personal wallet and probably connection with some other transactions. Then your verified questions will be around asking a more personal questions like, oh, what is my current wallet balance? Or can you show me my wallet balance history? Those are the questions that individuals would most likely ask. Based on your users, you could add those verified questions and also give like a sample query. So I will just go back to, so this is the semantic model that we'll be using to create the agent. So from here, so we go to AI or ML, then click on Cortex Analyst, and you would see the available. So I want the agent to reside in my Solana Intelligence database that I've created, and I want it to be in the public schema. So I can then, upload the semantic file like I've shown earlier. So I can just do this and select my stage, semantic view. Yeah, so I just uploaded it, and this is the semantic layer. So from here, I can choose to also, edit some of those properties that I've shown earlier. So I can choose to, edit my block ID dimension. Probably I could see that the description is not what it should be. So, and there's also a generate field. So this auto updates your, it auto updates your descriptions for you. And it can also suggest synonyms, a couple of other things. Yeah, so I can add more samples or remove the sample if you're not comfortable with, editing in the YAML file. So I can also edit the time dimension. There are lots of things that you could do from this UI. So these are all my tables. So I can see the relationships also. So I can see there's a relationship between fact USDT transfer and the DIM wallet USDT. So this just, all of this just tells the bot, oh, you could, pull the wallet ID from table A and also wallet ID from table B to answer this question that this user has asked. So that's the point of relationship. For some reason, this kept messing with my screen. But yeah, so we could now test the bot. So we have built a Cortex analyst agent. So you could start with saying, explain the data set if you don't have so much context on what does this data set entails. So it also so it tells you this semantic data contains comprehensive information about USDT cryptocurrency transfer on Solana blockchain. Then, tell you other things you could do with the data. So, and, like I mentioned earlier, that depending on your users, you could also preset some questions that you feel, or it's also a way to interact with your users, because some people, when you give them this kind of interface, they will start wondering, oh, what should I do? What kind of question can I ask? So you're already trying to tell them these are the kind of questions, they could ask. So you would see this question was in the YAML file I showed earlier. This also, so they were both pulled from that file. So I can, ask what or can you give me summary of transactions performed on uh, maybe Binance X. So, I mean, I don't have any idea on, what are the transactions performed on Binance, but since I'm assuming this has the data, right? I could ask questions like that, or I'm interested in, or my analysis is focused on the decentralized exchange. I want to know what volume has Jupiter or Radium, processed this month or this week. So this would give you, some briefing on your data, just telling you the process. So so this is the interpretation. So you're asking the agent to provide a summary of USDT transaction performed on Binance X in the Solana dataset over the entire available time period, including transaction counts, transaction amount, unique participants, and the time range. So it has, sort of aggregated the data for us. And for people that are quite familiar with SQL, they could also, validate the query to confirm that, oh, this is actually what they were expecting. Or because it's also possible that the response is wrong. So it's also a way for you to say, this is a verified query where whenever anybody asks this kind of question, then the agent knows, oh, I've generated something similar before, and it's a verified query. So you can, ask different questions. You can ask what are the available DEX protocol. So it's just taking us through the process, the interpretation. Then we have, all the available DEX protocols. You can ask, volume related question. Who has the most USDT volume on Solana chain? I mean, if you're interested in knowing whoever has traded the most, that will most likely be coming from an exchange wallet. So that question is not so I mentioned that, blockchain data, you could verify it. All of this, it's giving you responses. How do you know these are valid human beings or these are valid transactions if you don't trust the process enough? So now we've seen, all of these wallets, and it's saying this is their volume for the entire period. So this data is a 3-month data. It's not the full blockchain data. So I can just copy this wallet and, come here, post, and so this is the official Solana Explorer where you could see every activity. So I'm searching for, I said. So like I said, it will most likely be an exchange. So this is a Binance wallet. So, and it's saying it's the wallet that's, performed the most volume. And if you are interested in knowing more about, all those transactions, then you could go further and ask, other questions around uh, what are people doing the most on Binance. Probably you want to know if they are sending USDT or making swaps. So you could further, drill down to ask some of those questions. So the next part will be Cortex Agent. So Cortex Agent is a platform that allows you to handle multiple agents at a time. So imagine you have built this agent for USDT and you want to understand more about uh, probably other stable coins. You have the USDC. So you want to, understand certain trends. So you could create another agent uh, and call it USDC Explorer or USDC agent. And what this Cortex agent allow you to do, it allows you to add multiple agents as tools. So that means if you also have like a research agent, so or maybe a Google search agent, you've created a search agent. So you could add that to this Cortex agent, and it's able to use multiple agents, multiple tools to perform, workflows. So you could create another Cortex agent and add. You could use the Cortex search for text, and you could use a custom tool. So custom tool could be your function, your stored procedure, um, and here you could also define your orchestration instruction. So probably you don't want it to answer, questions in a certain way, or you don't even want it to use a certain agent that you've added. So this is a place where you could, add that. You could also add a response instruction. It's very possible that you want the output to be in a certain format. So you could add a response instruction, and I will show you a more, robust app that's been built on top of this same infrastructure. Oh, sadly, network is too. So Flipside recently launched their agent, and it was built on top of Snowflake. All right, and if you ask any question, it returns your response in a report format. So obviously they've added some instructions to generate a full report, which means with one or two prompts, you could get the business a full report without having to build a full dashboard. Uh, Now we can't access. So your Cortex agents also work in a very similar manner as your Cortex analyst. So the interface is very similar. So you could ask any question from here also. So you see it as a more advanced Cortex analyst because it could handle multiple agents in your workflow. I think maybe to save time, we can just check it will give you access to just one prompt. So you only have a shot. You can ask any blockchain related question and they will give you a full report. Okay. So I think we've covered the yeah. So I'll end this by saying dashboards will not disappear, but they will be interface, and they will only be interface for backend agentic apps. So where in the world where we could dynamically generate dashboards. So you don't have to pre-build a dashboard and say, oh, this is the, this is the only dashboard that the whole company would be using. Or we have these three, dashboards, and this is what the company would be using. So you could have like a very dynamic dashboard based on stakeholder needs. So thank you.
I was looking at the 391 credit left. So is this a free process to it's gonna have to be paid?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's really good.
Yeah. So if you create an account, they'll give you $400 for 30 days to play around with the platform.